Hello, and welcome back to another action packed, fun filled episode of 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners 2022 recruiting class is our expert host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Talking about some future Sooners today in Oklahoma out the Big 12. I can't wait to see what these young men are going to be doing here, and I can't wait to highlight their careers. I can't wait to see what they're going to do on the field in the very near future.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching us live, thank you so much. And for everyone listening to our podcast, thank you again. All of your listens, downloads, subscriptions, and follows on all the different podcast platforms, including Overcast, including
Yeah.
the Amazon podcast platform, and of course, Spotify and Apple Podcast. We are loving all of the great downloads and subscriptions we're getting. Yeah, actually, we were just talking offline about Overcast podcast platform. So if you've joined us from over there, then thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was a great statistic to hear from Mr. Landers this morning that, was it number 3 in our most
Yeah,
downloads?
number 3 in terms of all the platforms. So good for
Yeah,
them.
so
Beating
thank
out
you.
Spotify. Beating out Spotify.
Wow, yeah. So thank you so much to our Overcast listeners for joining us, including all of our other amazing podcast listeners and our live video viewers. So, Mr. Logan Landers, we know how much our listeners and watchers love these breakdown videos with the recruiting classes. So I want to let you get deep into the Oklahoma Sooners.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to switch over here, switch my camera, do some producing magic, right? Go over to a website called 24/7 Sports where I'm getting all my info from. There we go. Oklahoma 2022 football commits. As you can see, my boy Jeremiah coming up with a nice graphic right there for the recruiting special. Looking good. All right, so here we are. They're nationally ranked 10th. In the Big 12, they are second, so they're looking good. Coach Brent Venables looking nice. And director of player personnel has been holding out Drew Hill. Let's talk about these guys. Before we get to the guys who've been coming over, let's get some transfers. We have TD Roof coming over from Appalachian State. Jonah Llewellyn coming over from Hawaii. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, coming over from UCF. McCade Mator coming over from California, who's an offensive lineman. And punter Michael Turk coming over from Arizona State. So we'll see how much playing time all 5 of those gentlemen will be getting this upcoming season. All right, the hard commits, guys who have not yet signed, but they're looking like they're going to sign early in 2022. We have Jaron Kanak, an athlete, 4-star recruit, 252nd ranked nationally, 10th position, first in the state. He's coming out of Hayes High School. So we'll see what he can do. 6'2", 210, good build on him. And also we have Gentry Williams from Booker T. Washington High School in Oklahoma's cornerback, 6 foot, 170, 4-star recruit, 81st ranked national player, 10th in the position, and first in the state. So both guys, both 4-star recruits, right? Both looking good. We'll see if they can come over and help out the Sooners in the near future. Let's talk about the guys who have signed that letter to come over and play for the Sooners as soon as possible. Up first, we have a young man by the name of Alton Tarber, defensive lineman from Deerfield Beach High School in Deerfield Beach, Florida. 6'1.5", 6'2" on tender, 305 pounds, a 3-star recruit, not ranked nationally, 142nd ranked player, and 143rd in the state of Florida. Man, they got a lot of great talent in Florida. Of course, our guy Bobby Butler gets the name 1. So we'll see what Mr. Tarver can do coming out of Deerfield Beach. Next, we have Cedric Roberts, defensive lineman, 6'3", 275 from Hendrickson High School in Plungerville, Texas. 3-star recruit here, 579th ranked nationally, 83rd in the position, 84th in the state. Another good defensive lineman prospect they hope that they can build up and help in the next couple of seasons. Tight end Jason Llewellyn coming up next from Aledo High School in Aledo, Texas. 6'5", 240, good size on him. 420th ranked nationally, 20th in the position, and 58th in the state coming out of Texas. Like I said, Florida, Texas, so far you're looking good. You're getting hotbeds for football, especially in high school. So we'll see how they can translate in college. We have another cornerback by the name of Jaden Rowe from Union High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 6'3", 210, 4-star recruit, so only 4 stars and up from here on out. 367th ranked national player, 39th in his position, and 9th in his state. So they're going already pretty good defensive heavy. But they're getting another tight end up next with Cayden Helms from Bellevue West High School in Bellevue. Looking good here. 6'5", 222, another 4-star recruit. 327th ranked national player. 6'5", 222 is a good frame for a tight end. We'll see if he's more usually on the slimmer side, so I would think that he'll be more of a vertical threat as opposed to more of a blocking tight end. He's 15th in his position and 3rd in his state. So looking good there. We'll see what he can do. I like the size on him, though. A safety by the name of Robert Spears Jennings, who's 6'1", 195, is up next from Broken Arrow High School in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. A 4-star recruit who's 266th ranked nationally, 24th in his position, and 6th out of his state. So already they're going very defensive heavy, getting a few help on the offensive tight ends, but so far very much defensive heavy. We have another defensive player, a linebacker by the name of Kip Lewis, who is 6'1", 200 pounds even, 250th ranked national recruit, 26th in the position, and 40th in the state, at a Carthage High School in Carthage, Texas. Looking good there, like 6'1", 200 pounds, probably going to be more of a speedy linebacker as opposed to a ball hawk, I would think. But we'll see how he translates in college. They might be switching up his role a little bit as a linebacker, so you never know. Besides, we have our first offensive weapon that is not a tight end here, by the name of Nicholas Anderson from Katy, Texas, by way of Katy High School. 6'3.5", 195, 4-star recruit, 239th ranked nationally, 40th in position, and 38th in the state. Good receiving prospect here, a little bit on the slimmer side at 195, some would say. So we'll see what he can do as a slot receiver, as maybe a future number 1 guy. So we'll see how he slides in there to the Oklahoma system. We have Jacob Sexton up next from Deer Creek High School out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Offensive tackle, 6'5", 285, a 4-star recruit, 238th ranked nationally, 18th in his position, 5th in his state. Looking good here. And he's going to be joined by Jake Taylor from Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. Offensive tackle, who's 6'6", 290. So you have 6'6", 290 and 6'5", 285 for some future defensive linemen out there. Pretty scary sight. Taylor, 157th ranked nationally, 16th in position, and 4th in his state of Nevada. Looking good. Both these guys are probably going to be the future, you would think, as highly rated as they are and as highly picked. So we'll see. We have a quarterback by the name of Nick Evers from Flower Mound High School in Flower Mound, Texas. A 4-star recruit, 6'3", 188, 156th ranked nationally, 10th in position, 26th in the state. Looking good there. The highest rated quarterback they have here on the system. Of course, I mentioned, I'm going to scroll back down here one more time. They did have Dylan Gabriel come over as a transfer at UCF, where he had a very solid career. So we'll see how long it'll take for Nick Evers to come along. Maybe he might be the next future Oklahoma legend, right, at quarterback. They've had a few good ones here as of late, so we'll see what he can do in the future. We have a wide receiver by the name of Jaden Gibson up next from West Orange High School in Winter Garden, Florida. 6'5", 185, really pretty tall. A 4-star recruit, 149th ranked nationally, 25th in position, and 20th out the state of Florida. So, man, I'm just telling you, man, Florida, Texas, they're getting them. Those are the 2 leading states they've been getting these guys from, and I don't blame them. They've got a lot of good talent there, and we'll see what Jaden Gibson can do as an Oklahoma Sooner. We have another linebacker here by the name of Kobe McKenzie from Lubbock Cooper High School in Lubbock, Texas. 6'2", 245, a 4-star recruit, 144th ranked nationally, 13th in position, 24th out of the state of Texas. Looking good there. Another linebacker prospect to keep an eye on. And now we have a pair of running backs here to round out the recruits here. We have Javonte Barnes from Desert Pines High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. 6', 190, 4-star recruit, 116th ranked nationally, 10th in position, 3rd in the state. And we have Gavin Sawchuck from Valor Christian High School in Littleton, Colorado. 5'11", 185, another 4-star recruit, 73rd in his national player, 5th in position, 1st out the state of Colorado. So we'll see if this is gonna be either one, a running back battle, right, to see between these two who's gonna be the future number 1, or if they're gonna go with more of a 2-headed monster approach, I like to say, and have these be a dual back threat, because that can be scary. It works well in the NFL with Kareem Hunt, with Nick Chubb. It's worked well for a lot of other great schools in college football. So we'll see just how Oklahoma plans to use their 2 top prospects, their 2 top running backs in the near future. They're pretty similar, right, in size and weight. And so we'll just see who wants it more, right? Who wants it more to get the most of the carries in the near future. But overall, I think Oklahoma had a very solid recruiting class. No 5-stars today, but they had a lot of 4-star recruits, which isn't bad at all. Quick breakdown here by state. They had 6 young men come from Texas, 4 from Oklahoma, 2 from Florida, 2 from Nevada, 1 from Colorado, 1 from Kansas, and 1 from Nebraska. They had a quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 3 defensive backs, and 1 man from the special teams unit. So they did a good job. They covered a lot of bases here. They went heavy with defense early on. They had a few offensive weapons sprinkled in there, and they rounded out with 2 really good running backs of the future, hopefully. So overall, I think Oklahoma did a bang-up job. I like the way they recruited. And, some of those hard commits might be coming over soon. You would hope if you are a Sooners fan. But I think as it stands, right, they signed 15 guys to that letter of intent. And we'll see what the future holds for these future Oklahoma Sooners. I'm excited to see how their careers are going to play out.
Absolutely. And for everybody listening or watching from home on our live special, please let us know, who are your favorite recruits? Who do you think will be these amazing players that will be able to take it to that next level? And what do you think finally about the Oklahoma Sooners recruiting class as a whole? We want to hear from you. So tell us in the comments, or you're listening over on our podcast networks, then thank you again. And please leave us a review and subscribe. And so I was just thinking, that we've got great people listening on Spotify. We've got great people listening on Apple Podcasts. But when we look at our statistics, we found out we also have some amazing people listening on Amazon Podcast, over on the Overcast Network, and a bunch of other really amazing podcast networks. So anywhere that you love to listen to podcasts, come and join us. We're 100 yards of football. You can just look for our green 50-yard line football. You can look for our coloration, and you can just look for our amazing episodes. We have over 500 amazing episodes coming at, I think we just broke 600, right?
We just passed 600 this past week, so we are over 600 episodes now on the podcast. Over getting close to 1,000 on Facebook and YouTube now.
Yeah, and so if you want to listen and watch along, we are here for you 24/7. We have incredible amounts of amazing quality content, including interviews with legendary players, reviews of classic games and history specials, plus we have our team breakdowns, recruiting specials, we'll have game previews and recaps when it comes to the actual season, and we're just going to keep it with you with amazing other sports broadcasters and incredible people coming on the show to tell you on the ground level what's going on with football. So that's what we do. We keep it on the field, we keep it about the facts, and we keep it here for you every single week consistently. So join us every single week, and thank you so much for everybody who's already joined and is listening right now. Thank you so much again. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and you've been listening to our host, Logan Landers, break down the Oklahoma Sooners 2022 recruiting class. We'll be right back with another